So here's the wheel. All right, today we are going to be working on that Dodge again. If you didn't see the last video, we replaced the rear brakes and rotors on it. And then when we test drove it, he said it felt better, but then it was shaking a little bit at higher speeds. So we brought it back into the shop and we jacked it back up, and we noticed the driver's front wheel was pretty damn loose. So I found out that is the wheel bearing. That hub is falling off, basically, it seems like. And I'm pretty sure that this driver's front wheel is being held on by the axle nut right now. I'm more than positive. So today we're gonna replace the driver's front wheel bearing, and hopefully it goes smooth. It's pretty damn cold out right now. It is currently, I think, 12 degrees outside. And I think it's only supposed to get up to like 20. So 14. It's 14, feels like 1 right now. So we are going to bring this truck down to the shop, and we are going to start replacing that wheel bearing. Still too damn loud. All right, the truck is down in the shop. I'm gonna jack up the front end, and then I'll show you guys what I mean by there's some play in the wheel. I got my heater going because, again, it's cold out, and I'm also getting sick, so that's why I'm breathing heavily and sniffling. But I'm hoping this isn't gonna be too bad, but knowing my luck, it probably will be. So let's jack the truck up, and I'll put you guys on the wheel so you guys can watch the wheel kind of fall, and then we'll take it all apart and replace it. Our truck is jacked up. I'm gonna flip the camera and I'll show you guys just what I mean by the wheel is super loose. All I gotta do is shake it and you'll be able to see it. So let me show you. Okay, so here's the wheel. Going up, going down. So I am pretty certain that wheel bearing, or the hub that goes to the wheel bearing, is completely shot. And I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna take that cover off of these wheels, and I doubt it, but I'm debating on if I want to try and just take the axle nut off right away and see if the wheel falls with it. Because that'd be pretty interesting. We'll see. Let me get all my tools out of the back of the truck, and we'll get on it. Okay, so we got the caliper bracket bolts out. I did forget my caliper hangers, which is whatever, but we don't want the caliper just hanging on this line because it can ruin the line. So we got to find a place to put this. For now, I guess we'll just put it down here. And I'll have to watch out. And I'll probably grab a zip tie and zip tie that up. But now we can take this off. And now we can look at this. Oh yeah. So it's definitely being held on right now by this axle nut. So I'm gonna take this axle nut off, and we're gonna see if it'll just fall right off. Okay, I gotta wait for the compressor to kick off, but we got the axle nut off. Let's see if this will fall off. I'm curious. So far, no, but I mean, it's definitely the part that's loose. I'm gonna grab this and kind of. Oh yeah, it's loose, but it's not gonna fall off. That's fine. I'm glad it didn't, because that would have been bad, but it definitely needs to be replaced. It's yeah, it's pretty damn bad. I'm just glad it didn't ruin the axle, because that would have sucked. But I don't know if the new one comes with a wheel speed sensor, so I'm gonna have to look. Let me grab that quick. So we ended up going with the Moog brand. I got it from my work. My parts guys got it for me. Shout out to Jared. Thank you for helping me out with this. So let's open it, and I'm gonna see if it has a sensor with it. I don't think it will, but. And it does. Okay, so it does come with a new sensor. Cool, I did not think it would. So we're gonna have to disconnect this sensor on the old one and then take it out with us. But I mean, look at the difference on that. Now, this obviously has never been replaced. It's a 2013, has 175,000 miles, I believe. So it was definitely time. The other side is tight. I did check that to make sure. So we're just gonna be doing this one, but what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to disconnect this wire and then we'll have to start taking this off, which I believe it's 3 bolts on the back side, and then, I mean, if we're lucky, we can maybe air hammer it out. I'm gonna try not to take the steering knuckle off. If I have to, I will, but if I can avoid it, that would be ideal. So I'm gonna grab a zip tie to zip tie this up, and then we're going to disconnect this wire for the wheel speed sensor. All right, couldn't find a zip tie. I think they're up at the house, and I don't feel like getting it because it's cold still, and I just don't want to walk up there. So I did a bungee cord. That'll work. Ignore all that. It's fine. It'll hold up. So we're gonna take this wire off. Looks like there's a clip on the back side here. Clip right here. We're gonna have to disconnect it from here, and it looks like this is zip tied here. We have to go up into the fender liner a little bit. So let me disconnect this, and that. I can leave this on, I'm not worried about that. And I will show you where the wire is up there. Okay, so we took this clip off, took the clip off of here, and then we cut the zip tie that was up here. And then right here, there's a hole here and hole here. On the back side is the connector. So you just have to get it off of these, and then you can just pull it down, and it's right here. So then what you do is you take this red clip here. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but you lift it up. Let me do it quick. There we go. So you lift it up, and then you just click the button. It's hard to do this with one hand, but you click it, and then it should pop right out. So let me do that quick. And just like that, it's out. So then let me show you guys a little closer. But there's this little tab here. You push it down after you lift this red clip up, and then you can pull it out. It's just really hard to do with one hand. So this wire is all disconnected now. I don't have to worry about it, which is good. And now I'm gonna go on the back side, and I'll show you guys where we're going to take the bolts out. And I'm hoping, I don't know if I've left my extensions at work. So this is gonna be interesting if I did, but let's see. Okay, so looking on the back side really quick, I realized I'm not gonna be able to get these bolts. There's 3 of them, one here, one up there, and one on the other, exactly on the other side of this one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get anything in there, so I'm gonna have to push this axle back. So I did bring my air hammer with the pointed tip, and you're just gonna put that right in the middle, and you're gonna push it in while you're using the air hammer. So let me do that. And I'm also gonna grab a light so that we can see a little bit better. So let's do that, and then we will try to take these bolts out. Okay, so we did push this back. I'm going to try and do this without taking the knuckle out. Like I said, I might end up having to, it depends. I don't know if I can get stuff in the back. It looks like those bolts on the back of the hub are 18 mils, which obviously I have. And I don't think I brought my extensions for my impact. So I might have to try and use just a regular, my breaker bar, and try to break them open first, and then ratchet it out. So let me see if we can do this, and yeah, let's see if we can do it. So the socket fits back there, if you see the socket, but I can't get anything on it. So what I might end up doing is I might take the outer tie rod off so I can move it over and try and get it that way. And again, if I have to, I'll take the knuckle off. I'd really like to try to avoid it if I can. So let me try and do this, and we'll see what happens. The nut off of right here. So we don't mushroom this. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because either way it's going to. I'm gonna put this here for now, just so that when I hit it, it doesn't fly off. And I'm just gonna hit it with the mallet and try and pop that right off. All right, nice and loose. I'll take this nut off, put it over here so we know where it is, and we'll just set that off to the side. And I'm hoping we can then turn this enough so that we can maybe get something in there, but I really don't know if we can because I still think this axle's in the way. So if anything, we might have to take the actual ball joint off right down here. So this is going to be interesting, but you know, we'll figure it out. All right, after looking, I'm going to try and take this top one out, and we'll probably end up just having to take this knuckle out. It's not a big deal. It's not going to be too hard, but we're going to try at all costs to not take it all apart and see what we can do, because all I got to do is move that axle. Once we move that axle nut out, or the axle out, then we should be good. It's just a matter of replacing that, or moving it. So far, I haven't quite gotten this loose. I got the nut loose, but I can't get this up. I was able to move the axle just enough to get this bolt loose, so I'm wondering if I can get the other ones loose. I'm going to take that one out first, and then we'll make our way back over to the other two. I forgot my pickle fork to try and spread that open. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do that. All right, one bolt out. It's honestly not terrible. I want to clean up those studs a little bit, but one out, two more to go. And then hopefully we can just hit this out. I don't have a good feeling about it though, so I still think we're gonna have to take this knuckle off, but we're still gonna try and not do it. So let's see what happens. Well, this is the second one I've broken. I don't know how the hell that happens. That sucks. This is the one from work. This is my actual one that I use for work. I mean, it's a cheap Harbor Freight one, but damn. Pittsburgh didn't do so hot. Well, I'm gonna have to run and go get a pickle fork. I forgot mine at work. So we'll be back. I didn't even have to go get one. Sweet. I ended up, well, since my mallet broke, I ended up just grabbing what we did for the rotors. Whoa. I used this guy. Obviously I used this end, not this end. And I was just tapping on it, and it ended up breaking free. Sledgehammer for the win again. I guess it's axe, but. So now, that is loose. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna lift that up, and I'm hoping I can air hammer the axle back more so that I can get in there, and then we don't have to take that bottom out for the ball joint. So let me try this. Guys, holy crap. So with this off, we were able to push it back enough. Look how much room we got now. So I don't think we even have to take that bottom ball joint out, which is huge. My camera is at 48%. Okay, we're good. It looked like it was getting low. So now I'm gonna take those two bolts out. And then I am crossing my fingers that I can just kind of tap this out or air hammer it out of the back. Does look pretty rusty around here. So that's what I'm worried about. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some WD, I don't have any like actual penetrating oil. So I already did it to these bolts, make sure they come out good. So I'm gonna do it around the inside of that bearing and try and let it soak a little bit while I try to get these bolts out, and hope that maybe that'll make it a little easier to get out. Something you want to be careful about when you take these out, if you can see how rusty these bolts are, you want to make sure when you're taking the bolts out in the back, when you're turning them, that these are also turning with it. You want to make sure they're turning with it, otherwise they can snap, and then you'll have to get some new ones, which is fine because they'll snap with this, so it'll just all come out. You won't have to drill anything unless you're going to reuse this, but if you're replacing this, then obviously it won't matter. But you want to make sure that those turn with it so that you can reuse the bolts, because I don't have any other ones. I don't believe it came with new bolts. Let me look. No, I didn't think so. So it didn't come with new bolts, so I want to reuse these. And if they break off, then we kind of can't reuse them. So keep an eye on that. Make sure they turn with the ratchet. Boom. We got all three out. So now we just have this bearing in here. Now we got to try and hit it out. I'm debating if I want to try and just smack it out with that axe/sledgehammer type thing, just put it back in here, or if I want to try to air hammer it. Since I'm here, I'm going to try and air hammer it first, and then if that doesn't work, we'll try to use some real force on it. So I'm going to go from the back side and try to push it towards me and see if this will come out. Okay, we couldn't air hammer it. It was just, I have the axle kind of back in, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but it was kind of breaking the bearing back there, which again is fine because we're not reusing it, but I don't want to completely like make it harder on me. So I ended up grabbing that axe, and obviously you want to make sure you don't hit the truck, but I ended up hitting it just on top of this, and you can see it's starting to split, which is good. So now I'm going to come from the side here and try to split this side, and then we'll do the same thing over here, and hopefully it'll all just fall off. I don't have the axle nut on, which is fine. You can just keep it off if you want, and it'll just fall right out and not harm the axle. So let me grab the axe again, and we'll hit each side and see if it'll fall out. One thing before you actually do the hit the side, make sure you put this back in, the outer tie rod, so that doesn't keep slamming off the side. So let me hit this. I could probably just hit it on the top still and it'll just fall right out. So either way, let's get this thing out. Sweet. After a little bit of convincing, we were able to get it out. Now see, this is what I was talking about. Air hammer, he wanted to try to get on here, just kept slipping off, so it just ended up shearing this off. But that definitely needs to be replaced. So now what we want to do is you want to clean up this surface area and inside where the bearing lays, and then we can put the new one in. Now I have just this guy. I use this at work for wheel bearings on the cars I work on, which is Subarus. This little wire brush, and I just clean the surface a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so it's better than this. And then clean the inside, and then I'll show you stuff that I use to put on the wheel bearing, so hopefully will make it easier to come out if we have to do this again. So let me get the battery for this, and we can start cleaning. Here's the after. This looks much better. Again, this is fine. You're not going to get all that shit off. You're just not. You want to get this part right here, here, and here. And now we want to get on the inside of here and clean it with that wire brush. Try not to hit the splines. These splines are really, really strong, so you probably won't damage them, but just to be safe, try not to hit your axle. Okay, we clean on the inside. Again, it's not perfect. It's just to get to that, rust on the outside off. We want to make sure that it's nice and clean for the new bearing, which is right here. So now we're going to install the new bearing, which is sweet because again, I thought I was going to have to take this knuckle off, and I, basically almost did. I just have this ball joint down here that I had to take off, but yeah. So what I use, and you can get it from anywhere. I just use this anti-seize stuff from Loctite. It's super good. Use it on all the Subarus I work on for wheel bearings. I'll put it on the surface here, and then I'll put it on the inside of here, and then I'll also put it on the new wheel bearing. And that's just going to help it from seizing up in there, and hopefully it'll allow us to, if we have to do this side again, hopefully we don't for a long, long time, it'll come out hopefully easier. So let me apply this stuff, and we'll start putting the new wheel bearing in. Okay, we got all that on. We got it all around this like little triangle and all on the inside. And now we're gonna put it on this new bearing. And what we'll end up doing is I'll put it just around the bearing itself, and then I'll probably put a little bit here as well. And again, I don't have to put it on here because we do have it on here, but I'm still gonna put it on here, just the more the better, You don't want too much, but it'll be fine. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll put it back in the car. Sweet. So with that all done, we're going to now put it in the knuckle. We got that wheel bearing in. It's all tightened down, ready to go. And my battery is at 19% for my camera, and I forgot another camera and forgot a charger. So I'm not going to record me doing all of this again. So I'm just going to kind of tell you guys what we're going to do, and then we'll cut to me driving it and seeing how it feels. I might end up recording some, but we'll see. So basically what we're going to do, we're just going to take the knuckle, put it back on the upper control arm, put the outer tie rod back on. We'll put the rotor on, that spacer. We'll put the caliper bracket and pads and all that stuff on. And then we'll put the wheel back on. We'll make sure we torque all of that. We got to put the axle nut on. I have to look what the torque spec is, but I'll show you guys me torquing that. And then we'll put the wheel on, and then we'll drive it. So we're really, really close. So this is really cool. So let me start doing all this. All right, we got the upper control arm all tightened down. We got the outer tie rod all tightened down. I put the axle nut on. I have not torqued it. I just checked. Torque spec is going to be 185. I don't know if I have, this is my, that's my pry bar right now. So I don't think that's going to be good enough. So I got to find something to hold that hub so I can torque it down. So let me find something, and then we'll torque it down. All right, we're going to use a sledgehammer. You hear that clicking? So now the axle is all torqued down. One thing we don't want to forget is our new cable. So I'm at 10%, so I'm going to record this, and then we'll go for a ride. You'll see me go for a ride on the next one. So what we'll end up doing is we got to route it up here and put it back up here. So I'll plug it in, reroute it, and then put the rotor, the caliper on, and then we'll put the wheel on. Okay, we got the spacer on, the caliper on, and the rotor's on. So now we're gonna put the wheel on, torque it down, and then we're gonna go for a test drive. Super excited, let's do this. Okay, wheel is on. Now for the moment of truth, we're gonna try and see if it wiggles. If it doesn't, perfect, let's try it. Oh yeah, nope. She's not moving at all. So I'll put this down and we'll torque the wheels and go for a test drive. Torque spec, if you guys remember, is between 130 and 145 or 140. So we're gonna do 135. Okay, so I'm at 5% for my battery right now. So I'm just gonna put that center piece on the wheel and then I will record again on the test drive. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, let's go for a test drive. I'm at 4% now, which is great. And we're going to see how it feels. So he did tell me, sorry, I'm getting the camera situated. He did tell me, and I felt with him right after we, funny enough, after we finished the rear brake pads, he told me about the vibration. So he definitely needs an alignment, I'll tell you that. His steering wheel is off. But I don't feel any vibrations or anything, which is a good thing. Everything seems to feel tight. Everything seems to be good. So I think this is a success. So I think we're just gonna end the video here. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't got to see that brake pad video on this vehicle, go check it out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys want to see. I don't know what we're gonna do for the next video. It's gonna be on one of my cars, I'll tell you that. But until then, thank you guys, and we will see you guys later.